Gentleman yields back. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from California, Mr. Whitesides.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks for your service and for being here today. General Gainey, I was struck by your comments about the challenges on the deployed folks. And I recently got back from the Middle East from a trip. We went to Iraq and various Gulf nations and met with troops who are working on some of these missile defense things over there. They're doing heroic work. What could Congress do to help this challenge for these deployed folks? You referred to one program in your testimony, but I just want to give you the chance to elaborate a little bit further on this issue.
Yes, sir. Thanks for asking that question. The Air Missile Defense Force is a very resilient force, and we've asked a lot of our force, and they continue to respond, as you saw in the Middle East. Where Congress can support is continue to support the funding of our air missile defense modernization. Our modernization is going to allow us to not completely rely on our Patriot system as the system of choice, but also field out our integrated battle command system, which will integrate our counter cruise missile capability into our common C2 construct. And so therefore, the Patriot system is not the only system that we'll have to rely on for the range of threats. And will give us the portfolio to have the appropriate shooter for the appropriate threat set.
Okay, thanks. So actually building on that, you know, one of the things that we heard throughout the Middle East was that everybody is just super eager to get more of our missile defense equipment, you know, and they're frustrated, honestly, by how long it takes for our American industrial base to produce that stuff. This is a question for maybe General Collins, or I don't know, General Guillot, you may have comments as well. What's going on? How could we improve that? You know, we're talking about folks taking 10 years to get systems that they've, you know, ordered, or, you know, 5 to 10 years. What's the underlying challenges? How could Congress help? What does American industry need to do better in that production side?
Thank you, Congressman, for that question. It is certainly a challenge that we continue to face with especially new developments, developments of capability that starts from scratch that does not exist. And some of those do take a considerable amount of time. There are certainly activities to focus on more mature technologies as you start the program, to focus on more open systems and modular systems so that the first solution may not be the perfect solution. It's capability to bring to bear and then evolve it and grow it over time. What I'd call more of an agile approach to bringing capability to bear. I think that's really important. I think some of the delays in like the interceptor production lines and the munitions production lines, one, I think there's improvements we could make to stabilize the funding and the demand signal on the munition line. I bought munitions for the Air Force. I buy munitions now. And the yank up and yank back, invest to expand lines, then don't fund production on those lines. I think a stabilization of that could actually help us to increase the cadence and the availability of the needed weapons that we require going forward. I think that's probably a very key item where we could look at, and potentially even how we procure munitions. We procure munitions with a lot of the same rule sets that we do as from larger weapon systems. There may be a more agile way to get after how we produce buy the parts and set up the production lines to support more agile weapons development and delivery.
Thanks so much. Ms. Yaffe, last question. I got about a minute here. I'm the new guy here, so what I don't really get is, you know, we were doing missile defense before, and now we have this Golden Dome thing. What were we not working on before that we now are working on? Or is Golden Dome sort of like a rebranding of what we had before under a new executive order? Like, is there some requirement that we didn't do before that we now have? And we have about 45 seconds.
Sir, thank you for the question. The basic answer is that until now, missile defense has been focused on rogue state ICBM threats, so truly North Korea. The direction in the Golden Dome executive order is to focus on the whole range of missile threats, the ballistic, hypersonic, cruise missile, advanced aerial threats from all nations, and that's the significant shift in both policy and direction.
So we were doing that before, but you're talking about like maybe numbers, like we're now going to be able to intercept hundreds or thousands of things that are heading towards us or something?
Sir, I can't comment on what the architecture will be and what it will be, the kinds of numbers it will be set up against, but ultimately the Homeland Missile Defense was focused on leveraging the GBI interceptors for the North Korea threat, which was, of course, much smaller in number. Thank you.
Thanks. Yield back.